Hi guys, welcome back to TOEFL with Juva. Starting on July 26, 2023, there will be some major changes to the TOEFL iBT test. In this video, I will tell you what those changes are. Let's get started. Do you want to get your dream TOEFL score? Check out my TOEFL materials. They include templates, courses, sample answers, and much more to boost your score. Click on the link in the description. And if you like videos about the TOEFL, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the next video. The TOEFL test is an important test used throughout the world to determine the English level of non-native speakers. Therefore, the TOEFL is sometimes updated to reflect current trends, and that's exactly what's going to happen in July 2023. Let's look at the differences between the old and the new computer-based TOEFL test, 1 point at a time. We will start with TOEFL Writing. The writing section will have the biggest change. When I first heard about that, I couldn't believe it. This is so different from what test takers have been doing until now. In the past, there were 2 questions, an integrated task that took 20 minutes and an independent task that took 30 minutes. Now, the integrated task will remain the same. It will still take 20 minutes. You will read a short passage and hear a brief lecture. Then write about how they relate to each other. The independent task, though, will be removed. In its place is a new task called academic discussion. And guys, you won't have to write an essay. It will be totally different. This task will take 20 minutes, so the total writing section will take 40 minutes rather than 50 minutes. This means it will be shorter. The academic discussion will include what appears to be a website or chat room. You will read a comment by a teacher, then the responses of 2 students about the same subject. Your task is to add to the conversation with your own ideas. Your response needs to address the question and develop the discussion. It needs to be polite and respectful, but it doesn't have to have the structure of a formal essay. This is an interesting task because it resembles an online discussion. It's the type of writing you will need for a classroom debate or a response to a proposed project or change at work. Guys, don't underestimate this task. Yes, it's shorter than the independent essay and you don't need to write a formal essay, but this doesn't necessarily mean that it will be easier. The TOEFL examiners will expect you to write in a different way. So don't write an essay as you would do for the independent writing task. That's not what they want you to do. This will not get you many points. You will need different writing skills to get a high score on the academic discussion section than you needed for the independent writing question. It's a totally new task. Don't worry though. You can find a template for the new academic discussion task, practice tests, and sample answers in my TOEFL materials. Use them and boost your TOEFL writing score. To check them out, click on the link in the description. The TOEFL reading section has also one of the big differences. The reading section will be much shorter. It used to have 3 or 4 passages, but now there will be only 2. That means that the total time for reading will drop. It was 54 to 72 minutes, depending on the number of passages. Well, now it will be only 36 minutes long. In other words, it's going from about an hour to about a half an hour. That's a big difference. The ETS says that each passage will have 10 questions with it, which is the same as in the past. It also says that the question types will be the same. In other words, you don't have to change the way you practice. The reading test is simply much shorter. That's awesome! Since TOEFL writing and reading will be shorter, the whole TOEFL test will take less time. The new test will take less than 2 hours, which is significantly shorter than the previous time of about 3 hours. I think that will make it much easier to stay focused. After I had taken my TOEFL, I was so exhausted because it's really hard to concentrate for 3 hours. So I think that's definitely a good change. Another reason that the length is shorter is that there will be no more unscored questions. In the past, the reading and listening sections included a few questions that were used for research purposes. The ETS included them to get feedback on the difficulty of the test. It wasn't possible to know what questions are scored or not, so you had to do all the questions as if they were real. However, you didn't get any credit for correct responses. For example, my reading section had 4 passages instead of 3, and I had 30 minutes extra to complete it. Now, all questions will be scored and the length will be consistent. That sounds fair to me. Before I took the TOEFL, I knew that there might be unscored sections, so it didn't come as a surprise when I got 4 reading passages. However, I wasn't thrilled when I got 4 passages because it was really exhausting. So that's a good change as well. Let's move on to TOEFL listening. The listening section will be the same. There will be 3 or 4 lectures, and each of them will have 6 questions. There will be 2 or 3 conversations with 5 questions for each conversation. The total test length was 41 to 57 minutes, depending on the length of the listening passages. None of that will change. The question types will all remain the same too. The one change to this section is that all the questions will be scored. There are no extra questions used for research purposes. What about TOEFL speaking? There will be no changes to the speaking section. The old speaking section had 4 tasks, 1 independent and 3 integrated, and took 17 minutes. It will remain the same. Let's go on with the test-taking process. The ETS also claims that the new TOEFL will have various improvements to make it easier to take. They say that the registration process will be more streamlined. They also claim that the navigation between the pages of the computer-based test will be simpler. They will continue to provide accommodations to take the test for people with special needs, just as it did before. I look forward to seeing how these changes work in reality. Finally, I'm sure you were wondering which test is best for you. Should you take the TOEFL now or wait until July 26? Of course, the answer depends a lot on whether you need the scores soon. If you have time to wait, I think it might be good to try the new TOEFL test. The writing section is revised, but all of the other sections have the same question types as in the past. In other words, your preparation is about the same, but the new test is a lot shorter. To me, that's definitely an advantage. That's it. That's the changes that have been announced regarding the new TOEFL iBT test starting July 26. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions or a video wish, comment below and I would love to see you here next time. Bye bye! Do you want to get your dream TOEFL score? Check out my TOEFL materials. They include templates, courses, sample answers, and much more to boost your score. Click on the link in the description. And if you like videos about the TOEFL, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the next video.